Hello, 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 and welcome to Children's Lives Matter, the new thriving network series that enlightens, encourages, and empowers parents to reimagine and individualize parenting to make raising emotionally balanced children a reality for everyone. We believe that every child is important and deserves to be loved. For our first time viewers, my name is Vera Thomas, and I am streaming live from Georgia with the fabulous Camille Robb from Florida. In this inaugural show, we will each have time to introduce ourselves. So, Camille, what is your passion and purpose?
Hello, Vera. So, my passion and purpose is to empower individuals to embrace their unique qualities and to live a fulfilled life and to spark and unleash that fabulousness in all of us so that we could discover ourselves and go on this adventure and celebrate and shine that we never shined before.
Amazing. So, why does this show matter to you?
This show matters to me because children lives matters to me more than anything else because it brings awareness and it's very important to let people know the well-being and be an advocate for children, the rights of children, and fostering empathy and understanding towards issues affecting children on a global scale.
Well, tell me, why will this show enlighten, encourage, and empower our viewers?
Well, this show will enlighten and encourage and empower viewers by shedding light on the challenges children face worldwide and inspiring towards positive change and providing resources and insight for individuals that they can make a difference in the lives of children.
That's awesome.
Now, March is a special month because Developing Disability Awareness Month. This is very important because it helps us learn and not only learn, but to be kind to people who have development ability. During this month, groups and organizations work together just to make so that you're aware of the challenges and the success people have with development disability. The goal is to make you feel and accept the purpose and break down the stereotype that make our society inclusive. Now, I want everyone to understand this. Everyone has value and to do the important thing no matter what they differ.
Yes, and our quote to inspire thought for this week was written by Helen Keller, writer and activist. Education should train the child to use his brains, to make for himself a place in the world, and maintain his rights even when it seems that society would shove them into the scrap heap. Let's watch this video to learn more about how people with disabilities speak out about how they would like to be seen.
I
Yes.
feel so blessed to be able to just live my life and have people be motivated by it.
I have a spinal cord injury. And so when I was seeing people roll by, I was like, wow, so that's what I'm gonna look like.
I think I'll do a bit different. I know I think it's cancer and kids.
I was born paralyzed. I was born with spina bifida. So I've been paralyzed my whole life, and it's the only life I know. So I had to kind of grow into learning I was different.
My biggest insecurity is my legs. So I decided, hey, if that's my biggest insecurity, then I'm gonna start a gene line. And all of the pictures are based around my genes and my legs and other people's legs. And that's where I realized that it's okay to be different. Because once you embrace it, your entire world changes.
People need to, they don't know how to react to me a lot of times. So like, I think little jokes like, hey, calm down, it's okay. I'll be okay.
I would have people treat me as if I wasn't really there, and I would have people treat me like they didn't want anything to do with me. And perhaps it's because they were scared and they didn't know any other response.
One of my favorite things is when I'm out in public and I have all my girls with me who are all in chairs, who are all gorgeous. And we literally love when we see heads just turn.
Society doesn't correlate disability and being attractive. We are beautiful people. Everyone's beautiful in their own way, but we can be stylish. We can be gorgeous and stunning and fabulous, as I like to say, because yes, I see myself as being fabulous.
Being a dancer, once a dancer, always a dancer, I didn't stop. So I would go out to the clubs and I would get my boogie on. And I was surprised by how guys would approach me and be like, hey, you're hot. And they wouldn't say, you're still hot. They would say, you're hot.
There is the black and white. There's the bad and there's the good. So as long as you're focusing on the good, then the bad just seems to melt away.
We're only given one life, and you gotta be proud of it.
You want to bust a couple of moves? What? Oh.
Perfect. Let's get a cut.
And welcome back to Children's Lives Matter. I am Jessica Sheehan, and I'm here with one of my co-hosts, Dixie Ann Harris Gordon, and we are continuing our episode in service to Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month. So we've just seen this video clip, and what's striking to me, Dixie Ann, is that despite facing dismissal from others, the people in this video speak really passionately about their own intrinsic beauty and worth. And they affirm that despite their physical challenges, they possess immense value as human beings. So their voices are echoing this powerful message of resilience and self-acceptance. And I think that challenges societal perceptions and stereotypes about disability. So with their courageous words, they're reminding us of the importance of recognizing and celebrating the inherent dignity and beauty within every individual, regardless of physical ability. So
I love that, Jessica. I love that. It really is just a part of who they are. Just like we have our own traits and beauties, they do as well. It's no different. So Jessica, let's get a chance to know you. What is your passion and purpose? Would you share with us?
Yeah. So my passion is really about raising the vibrations and being a mirror for others to reflect the beauty that we all are. And I'm passionate about people taking responsibility for their own feelings and for their own happiness. And this is something that fosters and creates resilience within us, but it's not something that's necessarily easy to come by naturally. And we have to model this and we have to teach this. And so I'm also really passionate, Dixie Ann, about being in relationship with nature, because I think that nature really echoes the wonder of life, and it's a mirror of our developmental potential. Because when we're born, just like a seed, we have everything that we need within us to be glorious and brilliant. And if our environment doesn't support us and give us what we need, we can't grow into our wholeness. So if we're sharing our love and our light and we're helping one another, we can all get there. And this is especially important for children. So my purpose is really to share what I am and what I know and who I am, and just to spread positive messages, promote self-love, promote emotional intelligence, give as much support as I can, and promote self-acceptance.
I love that. That you are so passionate about that. I fully agree with you. Why do you think the show will enlighten, encourage, and empower our viewers?
Well, we have such an amazing group of co-hosts here together, and with the support of our producer, Angela Lee, author of the Bella Santini Chronicles, best-selling storybooks that teach children emotional intelligence and resilience. It's something that we're all coming together to bring light to these different topics of child development and how to best handle things. So best practices, we're looking for best outcomes for children. Childhood is fleeting. And so we really need to band together, and to strengthen our parents, our educators, our communities, and to really work together so that children have the love and support that they need. They're not going to get it just randomly scrolling through social media. So it really takes everyone working together and bringing more awareness and helping each other and really supporting one another.
So that brings me to, why does this show matter to you?
Yeah, it's really important for us to be able to focus on sharing our gifts and sharing what we can, and to empower children to develop self-love and to develop their gifts, and bringing awareness, like in our show today, developmental disabilities. This is something that we should all be more open and understanding. We should all feel more comfortable approaching anyone and treating others the way that we want to be treated. And I think that nowadays, these very simple lessons are lost. And if we don't pay attention to the right things, and we don't promote the positive things, the uplifting things, and the things that are really important to developing and growing kind and resilient humans, it's not going to just magically happen. We have to all focus, and we have to bring our gifts to bear together.
Thank you so much, Jessica. Thanks for introducing yourselves to us.
Absolutely. And so, Dixie Ann, next we're going to get into our person of the week. So can you tell us who we are honoring this week?
My pleasure. We are honoring Nick Vujicic this week. Nick is a motivational speaker and a developmentally disabled person. So Aussie-American Nick Vujicic was born in 1982, and to the shock of his parents and doctors, without limbs. There was no medical conclusion as to why he was born with this developmental disability, but despite his physical limitations, his courage and tenacity for life have caused him to become one of the biggest motivational speakers in the world, known as an expert on resilience and reframing challenges.
So developmental disabilities are conditions that affect how someone grows, learns, or behaves. Some examples of developmental disabilities include autism, Down syndrome, and cerebral palsy. People with developmental disabilities may need extra support to do everyday activities, but they still lead fulfilling lives, and they do many things just like everyone else. So as a reminder, Children's Lives Matter is sponsored by Thriving Women University, an affiliate of the Thriving Women Network. If you want to produce a franchise show, TWN provides the media network training, coaching, and mentoring to produce your franchise show. For more information, you can visit our website at thrivingwomennetwork.com, and we'll be right back.
Developmental disabilities refer to conditions in which a child experiences differences in learning or other aspects of early childhood. In the Developmental Disabilities Clinic, we're interested in helping children with all kinds of developmental delays. We see many children with autism. We also see children with Down syndrome or other forms of developmental delay. Our expertise is in how to try to steer their development towards what's most helpful for them and for their families. In our clinic, we see children in teams composed of a speech and language pathologist, a child psychologist, and a child and adolescent psychiatrist. In this way, we're bringing together different areas of specialty to really understand a child. We see children over the course of 2 days, and on the second day, we have a discussion with the family about the kinds of things we learned and how we can apply them to help the child in school or in therapy. After we see a family, we come together as a team and write a descriptive report with very specific recommendations to help the family, the educators and therapists, other providers involved in the child's care, determine how best to help this child move forward and achieve his or her potential. The multidisciplinary model that we apply is something that's become a bit of a rarity. Today, it's very difficult to carve out the time and the professional expertise to bring this much attention to a single child. And so the approach that we take to understanding the child is more in depth than you would encounter at many places other than Yale Medicine. Most of the children that we see in the Developmental Disabilities Clinic are age 3 or older, so they're around school age. This is a really important time because this is a time when children are in school programs where they can get specific attention to address their areas of weakness. It's a time when the brain is very malleable, where it's really susceptible to positive influence and more likely to grow in response to intervention. And I would say that's the most common thing that parents want to know is what can I do to make my child as happy as possible, to make my child be all he or she can be. Those are the kinds of questions that parents come to us most eager to learn. Parents know their children better than we ever will, but we have the opportunity to enhance a parent's understanding of their child with the areas of specialty that we possess. I'm James McPartland. I'm a professor at the Child Study Center, and I'm the director of the Developmental Disabilities Clinic at Yale Medicine.
So powerful and so important. So in our next segment called Actionable Advice, we present some strategies that parents can follow to help their child be all they can be. The first is provide encouragement and give positive reinforcement. Celebrate their achievements, no matter how small, and provide positive reinforcement. This helps build confidence and a positive self-image.
It does. We can also promote inclusivity. It's when we encourage inclusive activities where they can participate alongside their peers. That fosters a sense of belonging and it reduces feelings of isolation.
In addition, if we focus on their strengths, emphasize and celebrate their strengths and unique abilities by highlighting what they excel at, you contribute to building their self-esteem.
We can also build effective communication. If we listen attentively and we communicate effectively, this can encourage them to express their thoughts and feelings, and it fosters a sense of agency and self-expression.
And help them set realistic goals, achievable goals, and provide the necessary support to accomplish them. Success, no matter how small, contributes to a positive self-perception.
Educate their peers. Foster understanding among their peers about developmental differences. This can lead to a more inclusive and supportive social environment.
Absolutely, absolutely. And seek professional support. Seek guidance from professionals such as therapists and counselors who specialize in working with children with developmental disabilities. They can provide valuable strategies and resources.
Also, we model self-love. Demonstrate self-love and acceptance in your own behavior. Children often learn by example, as we know. So when we model positive self-esteem, it can significantly impact their perceptions.
Absolutely. And also create a safe space. Establish a safe and supportive environment where they feel accepted and valued. This helps them develop a sense of security and self-worth. These are just a few great tips for parents. Dixie, it's your turn to shed a light on who you are. So what is your purpose and passion?
Thanks, Vera. Well, my purpose and passion are combined. Like I would think all of our hosts of this amazing show, it's really wrapped up in our work with children. From the very beginning, I think I've always worked with children. And I mean, when I say from the beginning, way back, I remember myself being in first grade and I started teaching dance classes to kindergartners and preschoolers, and I was in first grade. And I would attend dance classes during the week at a local dance center. And I would bring those lessons back to my school. And I'd run those little classes on the school's playground. And so for me, educating and empowering children has probably always been how I have served the world.
That is beautiful. And just think, you knew from first grade what it was that you wanted to do. So
not even knowing, but knowing, right?
Right. Not only doing, but knowing. That is just amazing. So Dixie-Ann, why does this show matter to you?
In short, Vera, I think this show matters to me because it's a work of heart. You know, it's when your mission is to highlight that children's lives matter, then we're on the same page. You know, so I've been a career educator for over 25 years, which in itself blows my mind, but I've always been intrigued by the mind of the child. And after high school, I took child psychology courses before delving into my teaching career. But once motherhood was added to my roster, my focus switched back really to meeting the needs of children beyond the capacity of the classroom. And presently, I'm the founder of the Children's Wisdom Institute here in Louisiana. I spend my time between Louisiana, USA, and Trinidad. And I serve as a pediatric life coach, and I made that transition to educating the heart and mind and spirit of our children. And that's why this show is so important to me. Its mission and purpose are all intertwined with educating and supporting those who hold space for children in our world.
That's amazing. And you go back and forth between here and Trinidad doing this work?
Back and forth, 3 to 4 times a year. Yes, and I homeschool my 2 little ones, so that makes it easier to go back and forth. So it's, again, it's a work of heart, right?
A work, I love the way you say a work of heart, because it is a work of heart. So why will this show enlighten, encourage, and empower our viewers?
I think this show would do all of that because it's our passion. It's our passion. It's part of the mission of our co-hosts, both on and off the screen, and in our private lives and our professional lives. And it's the vision of a brilliant producer. It's how she serves the world. So for me, all of our topics and conversations revolve around enlightening and encouraging and empowering each other and our audience. So we'll be providing that education and those resources that are going to enrich a wider community. And we all have such a diverse panel, all of us together. We're all passionate about advocating for children's lives. So that's what creates ripples that travel across boundary lines and inspire us all.
So beautiful. Thank you, Dixie-Ann. Now, in our next segment, we will begin our deep dive into the topic of supporting children and adults with developmental disabilities. Children's Lives Matter is sponsored by Thriving Women University, an affiliate of the Thriving Women Network. If you want to produce a franchise show, TWN provides the media network training, coaching, and mentoring to produce your franchise show. For more information, visit our website at www.thrivingwomennetwork.com.
It is both unjust and tragic that people with intellectual and developmental differences all over the world receive substandard health care. In community after community and country after country, we have seen the toll of healthcare injustice. This video is our effort to amplify the voices of people with intellectual and developmental differences, amplify the voices that ask for fairness, for care, for equality, for justice, from their healthcare practitioners and all those who support them. We hope that in doing this, that the needs of people with intellectual and developmental differences will be seen not as burdens, but as gifts. Gifts to be recognized and treated and cared for by every healthcare practitioner in the world.
Athletes with disabilities are just like everyone else. They just want to be treated fairly and respectfully.
Get to know me.
Get to know me.
Try to get to know them first and try to see what their health issue is. If you can understand their health issue at first, then you get to have a first-hand perspective of how they're feeling physically.
Treat me like the other patients.
Look at me.
Look at me.
Talk to them person to person. Treat them like an adult, not like a young person, like a young kid.
Talk to me and not my mom.
I can speak for myself.
I can make choices about my health.
Don't be afraid to work with people like us. We're more alike than we are different.
They're just like any other patient. They have health problems, discomfort problems. It just may take a little bit longer to listen to what they have to say.
If our athletes aren't healthy, they can't perform well. They can't go to practices, they can't compete well. They're not well. So Healthy Athletes has become a very important program, I think, to so many of the athletes, and it gives them another way to connect with professionals that are outside their realm.
You can look into Special Olympics stories and you'll find ones where some dentists have found mouth cancer in kids that have never been to a dentist. You know, like, it's a great way to go out and be a provider and maybe catch something that's never been caught before on some of these individuals.
It is important to be healthy so that I can do the sports that I love.
It's important to be healthy because you feel good about yourself.
The same reason for everyone else to be healthy, so that you can be the best version that you can be.
I want to be as healthy as I can be.
When you're asked to treat someone with a disability,
you say yes. You say yes.
You say yes.
You say yes.
Say yes and mean it.
You say yes, definitely. Hello, Kathleen. How are you? Doc?
I'm great. Thank you, Camille. How are you?
I am blessed. I am blessed. Welcome back to Children Life Matters. And if you're tuning into our show, March is a Development Disability Awareness Month. And we are enlightening, encouraging, and empowering parents and families to converse with their kids, to embrace people with different disability. As we dive deep into this, we will learn about how we can make a difference. We're going to take a moment today with our co-host to introduce ourselves. Catherine, what is your passion and your purpose?
Well, thanks for asking, Camille. And, like everybody else on this show that has introduced themselves so far, we have this common purpose of children. And for me, it's making sure that we can give children the best possible start in life. So I'm a doctor of education, and I've been in the education field for over 40 years. And a bit like Dixie Ann, I knew that I wanted to be a teacher when I was about 10, and I was teaching the neighbourhood children in the garage and using the garage wall as my blackboard with some chalk. So I've known for a while that I wanted to work with children. And then, I've been doing it now as my career, but it's never been a job. It's always been an act of passion and love, really, to work with children and to help adults build really strong relationships with children so that they can help children to be all they can be. So the way I work with that sort of goal, I guess, is working with teachers, and I upskill teachers and I teach them about how children's brains are working and how to best set up their classroom environment so it's going to be the best for children from babies onwards. And also I work with parents too to explain about what children are trying to tell us through their behaviour, because it's all about communication. So I guess that's my passion and purpose, to help all adults, to help children be the best that they can be and have the best possible start in life, and to just to give parents and teachers some support, because I think it can be a bit of a lonely job being a parent and also being a teacher sometimes when you're faced with lots of challenges. So my role is to support them with, the experience and the research and the skills that I've gained over 40 years. So I guess that's it, just supporting adults who are working with children.
You know what? I love it. I love it, especially devoting yourself for 40 years. Wow, that's priceless. You have to have a passion for doing that for 40 years.
Like I say, it's never been a job. It's always been an action of love.
So why does this show matter to you?
Well, it's very similar to what everyone else has said. And our producer, Angela Lee, she has got the biggest heart for children. And she's brought this group together in her brilliance. And we all have a common goal, I think, to shed light on different issues that relate to children and finding ways that we can support parents and teachers and everyone who works with children, and just shining the light on some of the important societal aspects or the important needs, or I guess the focus that we should maybe be thinking about in society, and helping to shine the light on children and how we can help them to be the best that they can be and have the best possible start in life. And, that goes back to what my passion is. And that's why this show has drawn me to it, I guess, because I know the focus is to help to educate and support and offer strategies and empathise with what parents and teachers go through and help the pathway become a little smoother.
Now, being a doctor for pretty much everyone, because when you said adult children, you cover everything. Now, why is it that this show will enlighten, encourage, and empower the viewers? I want to know.
Well, Camille, we talk about the relevant things, don't we? We talk about topics that are relevant, that are either in the news or maybe not in the news and should be, that relate to children and parents and teachers and anyone who works with children or has some sort of relationship with children. My focus is all about the brain and what's going on in the brain and how we can reduce the trauma triggers that we all have, because we've all suffered some sort of trauma at some point. We all have had some experience that's not been great. And so for us to be able to use this show as a mechanism to help support all adults and all children by covering the range of topics that we do, I think we can really empower people to at least know where to look for some guidance or know where to go for help. So in my role with my company, Future Strong Education, in that role where I work globally, that's something that I love, and it's one of the reasons that people come to me, so that they can be guided a little, I guess, in their skills and knowledge around how to manage children and how to work with children.
You're brilliant. I just have to tell you that, because it takes a lot of heart to work with people and understand children at the same time. It takes a lot of heart. So I appreciate that with you. So the next show segment will dive deep into the issue that bring the expert to help to expand the perspective. Welcome to Deep Dive Discussion. Let's go, Doc.
Yeah, here we are, deep dive discussion. I love this bit. And, we've been talking about being aware of disabilities in this Disability Month And, we know that people who use wheelchairs or other helpful tools, they don't want to be seen as totally different. I've taught enough of them in my lifetime to know this. They just want others to notice them as individuals, and their wheelchairs or devices just help them move around and do things that they need to do. But that's not the most important thing about them, Camille, as you know. Just like everyone else, they have their own personalities, their own hobbies, their skills and their dreams, and they want others to see them for who they are, not just their disability. They want to be respected and treated well. Being inclusive means seeing the person first, seeing what they can do, and understanding that their disability is just one part of who they are. And if we all accept and understand each other better, we can make the world where everyone feels important and respected for who they are.
I agree to that 100%.
Mm.
If we will just see people as just individual,
right,
that would be right.
Right, and see their strengths instead of their
get to
deficits.
know me. Yeah, get to know me and see who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Don't look at my chair. Don't look at my leg. Don't look at that. Look at me. Get to understand who I am.
Absolutely.
People with development disability may have a tough time because of their disability. They might struggle talking, socializing, and of course, doing everyday tasks that we take for granted. But even though they face these challenges, they just want to be treated like everyone else. And that's what we just talked about. Treat them as if they're everyone else. Yeah, they want to be respected, understood, and be included in everything, especially in society.
Right.
They hope people will listen to them, recognize their abilities, not their disabilities, but their abilities, to see them as individual.
Mm.
They also want to be friends. I remember my son, we went to the mall when he was a child, and there was a little boy in the circle, and he was trying to get up, and I could see it in his face. And he said, "Mom, can I go and help him?" I said, "You have to ask permission first, because he might not want you to help him." And my son went over and said, "Is it okay for me to help you?" And it blew my mind. He said, "Yes." And they became friends. So my son didn't see him as, disabled. My son just saw someone that needed help.
Absolutely.
So they just want to be your friend.
Yeah, and that's absolutely what they want. And children don't see the differences. It's only we adults who see the difference. Children don't really care.
They want to learn new things. They want to chase their dreams. They want to be just like everyone else. We just need to give them the opportunity. People with development disability want to accept for who they are, not just judge them on their disability.
Mm-hmm.
And they want to be an important part of the community. So, as you guys know, Children Lives Matter is sponsored by Thriving Woman University, an affiliate of Thriving Woman Network. Now, if you want to produce your own franchise show, it's simple. TWN provides a media network training, coaching, and mentoring to produce franchise show. And if you want to know more about it, just visit our website at www.thrivingwomannetwork.com.
Everyone is unique. Nobody has the same story as me, and nobody else has the same story as you. So, I want to know what it's like to be you. The word disability covers a huge range of experiences.
I'm Samuel and I'm 13.
I'm Matthew and I'm 10.
My name is Billy and I'm 11 years old and I'm a tomboy.
Hello, my name is Knox and I'm 9 years old.
Hi, I'm Maggie and I'm 7 years old.
So, what does it mean to experience a disability?
A lot of disabilities can happen from accidents, like a car crash, but you can be born with it like a dysfunctioning gene or something.
When I was 3 turning 4, my arm was amputated in a lawnmower accident.
I have dwarfism.
We have visual impairment, which means we don't see as well as other people.
I can't see people's faces. I have to recognise them by their shoes.
Is it easy to see their shoes?
Yeah, where's they coloured?
My life is kind of like easy and hard together. Being a disability person is hard.
Some people don't realise how bad it actually is, and then they're like, I could live with that easy. But they don't realise what it's actually like.
When people treat me differently, I feel sad and emotional. And yeah.
It can be a bit frustrating, but I don't really have that much of a problem with it anymore. It was mostly in primary school when all my friends were running around in the playground.
I think it's made me stronger because even though I got put down, it made me get stronger and just learn to move on with things and stuff.
Well, a lot of people react differently.
Sometimes it makes me feel sad, and sometimes it makes me feel like nervous.
The little kids just stare at me for a bit and then they'll ask, what happened to your arm? And I'll say, well, it got chopped off.
Staring is just rude and yeah. And they asked my mum a question, not me, so I feel left out.
Well, when I go through the tough times, probably normally talk to mum and dad, like talk through it, talk through our whole family, and like we all talk about it and then we just get over it as like a family.
What makes me happy is when my friends don't treat me any differently for not being able to see as well. It makes me really happy to be around my friends and my family and be having fun.
When I'm hanging out with my friends, I like to play games like Chip and yeah. And also, thing that makes me happy is to play with my big and little sisters.
In the future, I hope that they have new ways to deal with disability.
If I change one thing about the stairs, it like excludes me from the thing that I really want to do. We should have more ramps, more lifts. Yeah. If there's people who have disabilities and there's things that I can do and things that they can't do, and sometimes I will help them because helping people is nice.
I'd like to change the bad attitudes, because if we all had good attitudes, people with disabilities would all find happiness throughout the whole life.
When we discovered that we all had the gene, we wanted to make a bucket list for things to do before we went fully blind. So we wanted to see the Great Wall of China. I want to see the Northern Lights.
I want to see all the pyramids in Egypt.
We went to see the Great Barrier Reef and we went snorkeling and scuba diving there, which was awesome.
Yeah, I would like to go to the Paralympics because I'd like to win a few medals because I'm pretty good at sport, not to brag or anything.
When I grow up, I want to be a doctor. I I want to be when I grow up a mommy or a teacher. My hopes and dreams are to be happy. That's the most important one.
To everyone out there that's got a disability, if you put your mind to it, you can do anything. And the people that just talk to you and say you're weird and stuff, always just keep going. Who cares what they think? Just go on with your life and have fun.
I am really nice and friendly. And if you want a friend, come to me to get a friend.
Wow.
Welcome back. Hi, Vera.
Hi, Jessica. How are you?
I'm wonderful. That is such a touching video, don't you
Yes,
think?
yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I love this topic, and I love seeing these children be able to express themselves and speak from their hearts.
Yes.
And I just want to give each of them a hug.
Yes, me too. As I was listening to it,
Oh,
that's
my
how
goodness.
I felt. It's like, oh my goodness.
Well, we want to welcome everyone back to Children's Lives Matter. And thank you for being with us, however and wherever you're watching. You know, when I used to be a forensic interviewer, I talked to children at a child abuse intervention center, and I talked to them about any child abuse that was being investigated. And during those child forensic interviews, it was really hard, not just the things that I heard and the details about any abuse that they had experienced, but not being able to give them a hug. You know, we have this natural need to want to nurture one another. And I know that you understand what I'm saying, Vera. You know, as women, as mothers, as caretakers. And so, yeah, it's, you know, having the experience that I did and working with children, you know, it was very difficult sometimes to sit there and listen to the things that they would share with me and not be able to comfort them, because I had to be legally defensible and to be neutral in that environment. But, you know, in that environment, I talked to children who had a lot of different kinds of developmental disabilities or who had experienced a lot of trauma. And so I had to be really well versed in a wide range of developmental delays or disabilities and different kinds of functioning. And with that, I actually also would interview adults that were special needs in some kind of way. If there was an investigation that law enforcement was conducting, they would bring those individuals to the Child Abuse Intervention Center, and I would interview them there, just to have that kind of extra sensitivity around interviewing them and speaking to them. So this is a topic that's really near and dear to my heart. And I think that, you know, a crucial aspect that's often overlooked is the importance of educating children from a really young age about disabilities. And if parents instilled in their children this notion that it's acceptable to ask questions, to engage in open and respectful dialogue about disability, Vera, I think that it could really reduce the stigma surrounding it. So
Absolutely.
I think really, if we all just fostered that environment of curiosity, empathy, understanding, then children would view disability too as just one aspect of someone's identity, not something to be feared or avoided. And I think it's like so many things. If we're comfortable, then children will be comfortable, and we can all just, you know, have that ability to see what we have in common and to see the person and not the disability or their differences.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I remember
go ahead, Vera.
I was just going to say my first job was with out of high school was with Goodwill Industries, now known as Goodwill Rehabilitation Center. And I developed a program called To Look Nice is to Feel Nice for disabled individuals that were coming. And I mean, you could see their confidence build as we talked, and I gave them makeup and helped them to, even though they may have been crippled, they were standing up more firm and more confident. And I did that. I was 19, because I was like 18, 19 when I did that. And it was just, and I don't know, I just wanted to help lift them up,
Yes.
And
Yes.
so that's what I did.
That's beautiful. I love that you're sharing your talents and your gifts, and that was something that you just felt called to do, and you did it.
Yes.
And actually, in our next segment here with our show on Children's Lives Matter, we're going to hear from you, Vera, and to hear more about what is your passion and your purpose. So please share with us.
My purpose and my passion is to uplift, encourage, motivate, inspire, and educate. I, having grown up with no confidence, no self-esteem, and having been bullied, I don't want any child to ever feel like I felt when those things happened to me. And so I've developed some programs for kids that's been in the school systems to help build confidence, to address the issues of bullying, to allow them the opportunity to write their thoughts and feelings, either in short stories, songs, poems, or raps. And also I developed a program for parents called Instilling Greatness in Myself, because in working with these kids, and my programs were like 8-week programs. And so I'd have the same kids for 8 weeks, and they were coming back and sharing what was going on in their homes. And I'm like, oh no, I need to deal with parents as well. And when you consider 64% of adults who have their own unresolved issues, is because of how they were raised as a child. And
Yes.
so often parents have their own unresolved issues that's impacting on how they're raising their children. And when you consider every minute a child is abused, every minute. And so I am passionate about helping to build confidence and self-esteem, and help kids set goals, help parents recognize their greatness so that they can, in fact, instill greatness in their children.
Beautiful. I love that, Vera. And I love your heart and your passion for the work that you do. It's an honor to be here with you. And so the next thing we want to hear from you is, why does this show matter to you, Vera?
This show matters because children's lives matter. And if we, as co-hosts, as a show, can provide education, insight, empowerment, resources to help parents be the best version of themselves, then that is the purpose of this show.
Beautiful. And why will this show enlighten, encourage, and empower our viewers, Vera?
They need to listen, chime in, and take advantage of what it is that we're offering them, the insights that we're offering them, the education that we're offering them, the resources that we're offering them. So it's very important that they chime in and that they participate and they listen and they give us feedback on what it is that we're doing and how it is beneficial to them.
Absolutely. And it's so great that this is an interactive show where parents and educators and our viewers can make comments and they can really get involved. So
Yes.
that is something that I'm really grateful for. And it's a blessing to be able to bring this show to everyone.
And I feel the same way about you, Jessica. I am honored to be a part of this show. We have some wonderful co-hosts here, and I feel so honored to be a part of such an awesome team.
Absolutely. Yes. Everyone has such a big heart and so much passion for serving children, from all of the co-hosts to our producers and even the entire network that's behind us. So this is really a blessing to be able to be here together. So we are going to go to a break in just a moment, but before we get into that, I just want to go back to our topic today, which is Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month. And it's really important to realize that a person's disability isn't all that there is to them. And I know we've said this a little bit before, but I want to just really anchor this in because it's a really key point. And while it may be a big part of their life, it's just one piece of who they are, because each of us is a mix of talents, interests, experiences, personality traits, and all of that goes beyond any limitations of any disabilities. So we thank you, viewers, again, being with us here on Children's Lives Matter, which is sponsored by Thriving Women University, an affiliate of the Thriving Women Network. If you want to produce a franchise show, TWN provides the network training, the coaching, and mentoring to produce your franchise show. For more information, you can visit our website at thrivingwomennetwork.com, and we'll be right back.
You, sir, are an amazing student. You're very funny, you're very smart, you do a great job every day, and you make everyone laugh because you're so silly.
Special education teacher Chris Ulmer starts each morning a little different than most educators. He takes the time to compliment each and every one of his students at Mainspring Academy in Jacksonville, Florida.
I think you are a brilliant student. I love having you in my class. You're awesome, you're great, you're funny, you're silly, you're fast, you're strong, you're athletic.
Yeah.
You're a great soccer player.
I know.
You're very smart.
Yes.
You've been doing a great job reading.
In just a few days, the video has been shared over 20,000 times and has been viewed by over 1 million people. Chris creates videos to help spread acceptance for his students and shows the unique ways he teaches.
Do you want to be friends with everyone?
Yeah.
Does it matter what color they are?
He's had the same group of kids for the last 3 years, and he has seen changes in the students' behavior and progress.
If you want your favorite book and you don't know where to look, just ask for a little help. If it's dark and it's scary, grab your Uncle Manny and ask for a little help.
Be sure to watch Inside Edition.
Wow, wow, wow. Ladies, you guys are definitely rocking it. I'm loving every bit of this. I'm so at awe. I love it. I love it. Now, the main message right here, Dixie, is that we want visitors and viewers, everybody that's piping in, to grasp that disability doesn't define a person, their whole entire identity. No, this is just one little aspect of their life. It's just one little part. We as individuals have to just move away that little stigma that we have in our head. I love watching, especially when my children was growing up, when they see children with disability, because that's something that I taught them. Don't look at the wheelchair. Don't look at the expression. Go and meet that person and understand that that person is just like you and me. They need love. They need to be a friend. They need to have people that's gonna recognize who they are and not of their disability.
That's right.
Look into their ability and love them for who they are. And it just breaks my heart to see grown-ups. Grown-ups is the one that gives the problem. You know that, right?
Yes, it
Kids feed off of that, right, Dixie? Kids feed off of the grown-up, you know?
They learn from us.
And the world don't understand. They have so much to offer us. They have so much to offer us. They just, you and me, they just move a little bit slower. They just move a little different. So we need to get with that, right, Dixie?
I agree with you. I really do. Camille, this has been such a wonderful episode. It's a fabulous inaugural show. We really want to thank our Prime viewers from around the world for supporting today's mission to enlighten, to encourage, to empower parents to have a conversation with their children on how to embrace people with developmental disabilities. You know, you can support us, as we've shared, by joining our Facebook group, Thriving Women TV, and telling a friend. You can watch recent episodes on demand at our Facebook group, E360 TV, our website, www.thrivingwomennetwork.com.
Every child can learn is sponsored by Thriving Woman Network, an affiliate with Thriving Woman Network. If you want to produce a franchise, they will take care of you. TWN provide the media, the network, the training, the coaching, the mentoring, and they produce your franchise show for you. All you have to do is just jump on the website. It's simple. They take care of everything. You just have to be ready to show. So you might want to tune into the show that's coming out. Every child can learn, and that is for real, okay? I remember having my daycare and they want me to separate my children. And of course, they fine me for that. But I didn't pay any attention to it. I paid a fine and I kept doing what I do. So, on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, you have to jump on so you could understand a little bit more about how children can learn, okay? So I am the fabulous Camille Robb.
And I am Dixie-Ann Harris-Gordon. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Stay blessed.